Alright, just testing this working again, as always. Hello, hello, hello. Bonjour, bonjour. Alright, just testing this work. Cool, okay. By the way, my apologies if I make any weird sounds with my mouth. Um, they're annoying and I hate them, but I'm not sure what to do because this has to be quite close to my mouth. Oh, right, okay, cool. So, yeah, we left off with this crashing nonsense that happened, and I think I was just trying to um, bind an action, right? So bind action is what I was putting in, and I wanted to know what type this function needs to be, this method. So press F12 and I go, where is it? Fname, input, user class, that doesn't look right. So it's fname, key event, key event. So this is, if I press, this needs an event key. I did not know that. That can't be right. Is that right? E input event. Oh yeah, of course. And why is my type ahead not working again? Come on, Visual Studio, please. What are you doing, eh? It's not helping me. It helped me a second ago. So it's going to be when I release the button, I think. Good. And then finally we just need to know the signature of the delegate that gets passed through. And I think it's this action binding stuff, maybe. No, clearly not. How did I do this before? Bind delegate, delegate type. This takes a user class. There's nothing of interest there. Maybe it's not the right one. Let's see. Input type, object type names, that's the function. But these are, here we go. F input action handler signature. So what was the other one? Oh, I see. It was just some kind of generic delegate. So, right. So it's that one. And if I go through to that, then we get an F key and a key. Well, I guess that makes sense. Let me just check this one as well. What does that one do? Action handler with key signature. F key key. Okay, fair enough. So it looks like the binding of this, if we go to the controller again, the interaction needs to be that. And let's just get rid of these commas because they're nonsense. And then it will be like this. I think that's what you have to do, right? And I don't know if these need to be U functions in fairness. I'm really not sure. So, because I actually don't know what this does in terms of the final kind of transpose or translation or compiling into that generated file, but we can have a look later. So, okay, cool. And then so we've got these inputs, and I suppose let's just test them. Maybe we can look up how to do a debug. So Unreal Engine debug onto screen. Let's do that. Here we go. G engine. It's all about the G engine. So if there's a G engine, then I hate that kind of let's save on keystrokes. It's like, oh, really? I don't care how much code I write as long as it compiles down to the same thing. If gengine add on screen debug message, what's this one? I can't remember. Key. What does key mean? Hopefully it's going to give me some information on that. Add an F string to the on-screen debug. B newer on top only works with key equals in nil on top, so it's going to be, well, it's not a great documentation, is it really? Can it not tell us what these do? Really? Alright, well, I guess not. Let's guess that that is a position where it's going to show the thing, and maybe this one means just always on top. And then this one is time to display. 15, what is that, in seconds? Or once again, doesn't say, that's really helpful. Let's say this is in seconds. Let's do it for 0, so it's like almost immediate all the time. And then yellow, why not? And then move horizontal, and then it's going to be that. Yeah, sure. And I guess we'll do the same for this one then. Move vertical. And then this one will be interact. I wonder what this is complaining about here. Text expands to interact. I don't know what that error is showing me here. Identify access value is undefined. Oh yeah, of course. Interact. Interact was pressed. Was, in fact, was executed. Release of button. Good, okay, well that should get us started, so let's build that. What we got going on here? Live coding is active, so we need to do this again. Awesome. And then we need to go and add these as properties in our project. So project settings, guess it's input down here somewhere. Yeah, binding speech, action and axis. So let's do the action first. And what did we call it? We called it interact or something. Interact, there it is. And interact is going to be, I don't know, the E key. Why not? Oh, where is it? Keyboard, E. And then the axis map, and I've got 2. So let's add 2. And I think it was horizontal and vertical, right? Yeah, move horizontal, move vertical. Move vertical. And this scale is 1, sure. And then it's going to be keyboard left. And then we're going to do keyboard right. Let's see which way. So the right one is going to be plus because the Y is in the plus direction. Whoa, did not mean to do that. So the to the left is going to be -1. And then move vertical is positive on the Z. Yep, so we'll do that. And then that'll be keyboard up. Oh. How is that keyboard? Weird. Up. And then this will be down. Like so. Good. Alright, save all that nonsense. And I suppose one more thing whilst I'm here, I should start a Git thing. And what I'll do is I've got a gitignore that I use for other projects. So I'm just going to copy that in. So copy And a readme, that sounds good. I'll go back just off the side of my screen for a second, bear with me. Here we go. So if I go to my source, here, sorry, this one, paste those bad boys in, and then I guess I want to initialize this as a, what's out of this folder? Oh, there's stuff out here as well. Whoops. Okay, so actually I want, oh, I'm confused. Where did that just go? Here. Oh, okay, so it's just a nonsense folder, fine. So we'll initialize this, so cmd git init, and then we want to do git status, let's see what's there. So we've got a gitignore file, some configuration stuff, content, yep, readme and source. That sounds all good to me. So I think we can add all that, and then we'll just give it a commit. Added input component stuff. Let's see. Yep, all these are good, apart from the HoloLens. I don't know. It's just kind of default. That's fine. These make sense. These are the blueprint assets. This is the U project. Here's the README I added, and then this is other stuff in the source. Good. Let's go here. Compile it. I think I just did that right. And basically, if I play this now, you'd hope it to respond to my up and down keys, and it's not. So let's just double check my settings. So my player is not currently put into the map, I guess. And actually, funny enough, this needs to be rotated around like that. Yep. And I think what I'll do is for my character, I'm going to add a camera. So let's just bolt a camera on somewhere here. Or maybe as a target boom, I can't remember. Target boom. Arm? Spring arm, that's the one. I think that's what the cool kids use. Can I not attach that to that? No. So this is my root component here. So I've got my spring arm, and then underneath that I'll add a camera. The spring arm just allows some kind of fluidity with how the camera moves. I don't clearly don't need it for this, but hey, we've done it anyway. And if that's facing that way, then I would like my spring arm to be rotated. How to do that? That one there. Rotate that 90, and then we'll have the camera, well, I guess as well actually, just like that. And then maybe increase the spring arm length to like 800. Compile, save, let's see what that does. Cool, I like it. That's looking pretty good. So now I want just to explain, I've done that in the blueprint. Now I may change my mind after and figure that I should do this rotation inside the C++, but I think it's more of a visual thing. So I've done it in blueprint so that you can edit it and kind of see and respond to how it looks, rather than having to go back to the code. And it kind of makes sense. This is a kind of a designer artist choice sort of thing. So this is not working because the axis value does not equal 0. Then it should do this. So if I breakpoint on that, let's see if it's actually running, because I doubt it is. Minimize that, play that. I'm pressing the keys, nothing's happening. And why is that? It's probably because this has not been called. So, oh no, I wasn't debugging, that's why. Door. Attach the process. Unreal. Let's see if this works this time. Are you going to work? No. I don't understand how you're supposed to debug this. It doesn't normally work like this. So I normally like compile and then it just attaches again. I wonder why this DLL is so wrong. Okay, well what I'm going to try and do is what I did last time. If I save all, close this, close that, and I'll just run it from here, and then I'll detach my debugger, which I think should work then. These should switch on. There they go. and then yeah, that's fine for now. So it's doing these bindings, that's great. That's the correct thing. It should be calling these. Ah, there we go. So it was just that it wasn't compiled. Cool. Well, okay, maybe then that G-engine is not available. Let's see. Ah, well that's probably it then. Let me just double check this where we get stuck. So it's definitely running that. That's good. The axis value is not doing anything. So let's go check out our project settings again. Input, input, input. If I hit left, it's going to move horizontal, binding the access to this. That's definitely getting called. And the scale is -1 when I press. Oh, I've done left. I'm an idiot. I need to do A. That's why. Well, we can keep that as well. Why not? Keyboard A. D. So this is left. And then the up and down is going to be W and S. W. W. And then S. That'll be -1. Alright, okay, that's better. That should now start taking effect. Yes, it has. Good. Ah, that's perfect. Great. That was easy. So now I also I probably want to add the movement into it. So let's do that. If I'm moving horizontal, then I want to tell the player to move to the right. So I need to go and add a method on here. It's going to be publicly available, and we'll do a U function category equals custom. It's going to be a void, and we'll do move horizontal, or perhaps horizontal move, and this will be axis value. Yep. Oh, I don't like this. Why is that a bit ugly, isn't it? Ooh, okay, well, whatever. And we'll do how do I do this? Add input, I think it's called. Add controller, add movement input, that's the one. Well, direction is going to be axis. No, it's going to. So okay, so this is where we start to set some of these hard to find things, which is which direction does the character actually move, and so in this case it's going to be this, so it's going to be moving in the Y direction. So I think I can't remember which one's which. Let me see. So yeah, Z's the last one, so it's going to be that one. And then its scale value. I guess that's going to be the axis value. And then I don't know what the force is for. Let me have a look. Force, B force. If true, always add the input, ignoring the result of is movement. Okay, so that's going to be a false. And I think that was false anyway, right? Yeah. And then we'll do another one. We'll make this horizontal. So this will be vertical move. And then this will be in the Z axis. Now this might be a problem. Why is this so ugly? I don't like it. I don't like that. What about that? Doesn't like the fact that it's got this. How's that looking? Well, it's even uglier, isn't it? Oh, well, whatever. Well, maybe if I do a comment, maybe that will help. It's not a bad idea anyway, is it? Let's try that. No, that screws it up as well. Oh well, okay. Ugly. Um, yeah, so... Oh, that's really bugging me, that is. I don't like that at all. Those macros are empty, they just mark for you. The reason of is lack of, but if you place at the end of them, you get you. So either Epic need to add or make your, so you can add it to yourself. Has anyone found a solution for this? This has nothing to do with the O4 and is due down to change it. Do text editor C++ tabs indenting and set it to block instead of smart. This should fix this. Okay, well, block. Let's do that then. Tools, options. I just find it very distracting, unfortunately. So sorry about this. Text editor C++. Tabs block. Okay. Let's see how that's going to work now. Like this. Is that... No, didn't change anything. IntelliSense. Enable. Um, well, that didn't work. Okay, fine. Whatever. Um, so this should move us. So I need to get this called from the controller now. So if I go back to my controller, I can drop that message, and then I'm going to go get pawn. There it is. I need to cast that pawn. Well, let's say, what does this return? It's a pawn. A pawn pointer it returns. So if I come back here, a pawn pointer, and we'll call this pawn, and if pawn, then cast to my a climbing character, and I'll cast that to climbing character. No, I'll just call it character. Like that. And this, let's see, quick add include for climbing character.h. Oh, I don't think that's going to work actually, is it? Oh, clearly it does. Cool, okay. It's not resolved it yet. There it is. That would be a pointer to that. And then on this character, I can, of course, call move horizontal, and I'll pass in the axis value. So let's copy this and paste that onto the vertical. Vertical move. And then interaction is still not ready for that. Okay, so let's give this a build. Build failed. Error include found after generated H file. Oh, I see. So I think this needs to be the last thing entered, so that's fine. Let's just do that and compile this. I think I need to rename this pawn. Pawn hides class member, so it isn't like that. Oh, poor person outside. I think maybe fallen over or something. We'll call this. Well, actually, these are a bit gnarly, aren't they? Let's call this instead my character, my pawn. And then we'll do the same here. My pawn, my pawn, my pawn. My character, my character. Cool. compile that. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but this poor kid is crying. So all of these are modified. That makes sense to me. So let's go ahead and do this. And okay, so now we're doing this. Great. And you'll notice that if I go vertical, it actually doesn't go up and down, but that's because when you press up, you need to turn on flying mode, because otherwise gravity is always acting on you. So I don't think I want that in here, because I think it's a component of the climbing itself. So I think we're basically at the point when we want to start implementing our climbing stuff. So let's do a save. Let's just check what's going in. So we've got some initial some configuration, some new content, the blueprints, and then the character stuff. That makes sense to me, so I'm going to add them all. And I'm going to commit commig character movement finished. Something like that, whatever. Cool. Right. Next step then is to figure out what I want to do. Is it a plugin or is it a component? Or is it plugin with a component? Unreal Engine 5 create C++ plugin. So this page describes the development and management of plugins for use with Unreal Engine 4. Let's see. Oh, this is for 5. In UE 5, plugins are collections of code and data that developers can easily enable or disable within the editor on a per project basis. Plugins can add runtime gameplay functionality, modify built-in engine features, or add new ones, create new file types, and extend the capabilities of the editor with new menus, toolbar commands, and submodes. Many existing UE4 subsystems were designed to be extensible using plugins. If you want to jump right in and create a plugin now, please see the Creating New Plugin section. Let's do that. To create a new plugin, use the New Plugin button in the editor's plugin browser. Right, let's do that. So I think it's there, edit plugins, add. Now it's going to be, let's read these. Create a blank plugin with a minimal amount of code. Choose this if you want to set everything up from scratch or are making a non-visual plugin. A plugin created with this template will appear in the editor's plugin list, but will not register any buttons or menu entries. Create a blank plugin that can only contain content. No, because it's going to be C++ code. Create a plugin that will contain blueprint function library. Choose if you want to create static blueprint nodes. No. Toolkit example to specify UI that will appear in modes tab. It will also include very basic UI that demonstrates editor interaction. Nope. Standalone window. Nope. Toolbar button. Nope. So I think this is probably the one I want. Let's do the authors of this. A climbing system. I don't know why I've put a capital S there. Show content directory. Shows the content directory after creation. Author's URL. Let's just put example in for now. We can change it later, no doubt. And then is beta version. Okay, and what else does this need then? Ah, plugin name. So we're going to call this the climbing system. And I've hit the button. Failed to compile plugin source code. See output log for more information. So just going to move this away, go to the output log, and it says, expecting to find a type to be declared in a target rules name. This type must derive from the target rules type defined by Unreal Build Tool. I think that I know what that means, but let's just double check to see what this is. From there you can select which type of plugin you wish to create, enter a name and set some basic parameters. Your new plugin will now appear in the Okay, so that doesn't work and there's a bug in it. Let's have a look. That's not it. After simply updating from da da da, I am now getting this error when I try to compile. Expecting to find type. Ah, so that's a good point. Let's this type. So to find a type to be declared in the target rules named this. One second, I'm just going to close the window. Okay. Uh, yeah. So um, I think I know what it's talking about. I think it's this file here. There's this targets file, and I think you can define stuff in here, but I think maybe because it hasn't been built yet, it doesn't know what that is. Uh, However, has it added the plugins is the question. No, I don't think it has. Let's go look at the folder structure. Let's go to source. There's no plugins there. And let's see, I don't know where it put, here, plugins. So nothing's been put in there. So actually their guide does not work. Copy the plugin from plugins to your project plugins folder. It should pick the project plugin over the engine plugin and compile it as normal. So expecting to find a type to be declared in a target rules named. I see. It might be because it might be because of the name of my project, right? So maybe I need to change this slightly from digital climate system to plugin. How are we looking now? Ah, that's better, I think. At least it's frozen my computer. Cool, okay. So unfortunately now I'm going to lose this now because if I reload all, no. So if I detach all, I was hoping for a plugins folder, but I think actually maybe I'm going to have to refresh this. So if I go here, maybe tools, refresh Visual Studio Project, I think that might actually work. Still no mention of plugins here, is there? And it's definitely here. So that's a shame. So I guess I've lost the ability to do that. So I'll right click on this and go show more options and then generate Visual Studio project files. And let's hope that it brings it in. It's not. Well, that's a shame. So how am I supposed to edit that? Okay, well let's read on. So it's done that. Oh wow, okay, so there's quite a lot here. So you can see which plugins are currently installed. Okay, the plugin editor is accessible from the main window. Yep, that's beautiful. Plugins with code will have a source folder. This folder will contain one or more directories with module source code for the plugin. Note that although plugins often contain code, this is not actually a requirement. Plugins with code will have a binaries folder that contains compiled code for that plugin, and temporary build product files will be stored in a separate intermediate folder under the plugins directory. Plugins can have their own content folder that contains asset files specific to that plugin. See the Content in Plugins section for more information. These sound important. Plugin configuration files should be placed under the same convention as other configuration files. Plugin name, and then your config folder. Plugins do not support their own derived data cache distribution. Luckily, I don't know what that is. In order for plugins to be found, they must be located in one of the search paths for plugins, either in your project or in the engine itself. Here, so project root, plugins, plugin name, project root, plugins, plugin name. Cool. Unreal Engine finds your... Oh, you can also organize plugins into subdirectories under the base plugins folder. The engine will scan all of your subfolders under the base plugins folder for plugins to load, but it will never scan subdirectories beneath a plugin that has already been found. Unreal Engine finds your plugin by searching for uPlugin files on disk. We call these files plugin descriptors. They are text files that provide basic information about your plugin. Plugin descriptors are discovered and loaded automatically by the engine, editor, and Unreal Build tool. Whenever those programs are run, see the section on plugin descriptors to learn about creating and customizing these files. So what it's saying is this. If I open this up, well, let's try and open this up in Visual Studio. I don't know why it's not. Oh, I can't drop it in there. Try that. There we go. So you can see all the setup information. This makes sense to me. Right. So still not happy that I can't edit that as a folder, and I'm just wondering, because it's not in the source folder, is it? It's in its own separate thing. Let's see if I can add. Let's see. The plugins folder. So this is adding existing items, and I want to add a folder, right? So add. That's not possible, is it? I wonder what module is. Let's see. No, that's a special thing. Okay, well, not sure how this works then, to be honest. So you'd kind of think you'd be able to see that in here, wouldn't you? When generating project files for Visual Studio or Xcode, any plugins that have source folders containing build.cs files will be added to your project files to make it easier to navigate to their source code. These plugins will automatically be compiled by UBT when compiling your game project. When generating project files for Visual Studio, any plugins that have source folders will be added to your project to make it easier. So I guess maybe that source, because it has nothing in it, but it does have something in it, and it has the build.cs. That is so interesting. I almost don't believe it. I'm going to do this one more time. See if I didn't mess something. And this says, oh, it goes away. Maybe if I close this down and then reopen it, that might be. Let's try that. Well, there you go. There it is. So you have to close your solution first. That's helpful as always. So here we are. Okay. So we have a plugin. Let's see if we can install that plugin now. So climbing. There it is, and it's already installed. Great. Okay. So I guess I want to add a component that you can add to a character, right? Because that character is going to be controlling um well you want to be able to say to the character, hey, when I'm interacting, go and use the climbing component to do stuff. But we're also going to need some blueprint types as well, um, or actor types, sorry. So you can see here there's a plugins folder. I think what I'll do here is try and create a new C++ class. Let's see if it lets me. Tools, new C++. It's going to be an actor. Um, you can see my plugin here. So I'm going to do that. Now I think because it's already got the public folder, I think it should be fine here. I'm going to call this actors. And if we go back to my whiteboard, I need this climbing hold actor, I guess. So let's do that. Climbing hold actor. And I think I'm just going to prefix it with my name here. Cool. And so also this climbing hold actor is going to have a blueprint, but yes, so let's do that. So if we go blueprint, climbing hold actor, there it is. There it is. And I'm going to try and drop one in here. Wonderful. And let's position that 0 on the Y. And 150 sounds good. That's on the wall itself. Cool. So then I think we also want to add like a cube or something to denote that there is something to grab onto. So let's do that. There it is. Let's compile that and see how that turns out in the game. It's a bit big, so let's shrink that maybe to, well, let's lock this and then put 0.2 or something. See how that turns out. Oh, that's looking good, isn't it? That is looking very good. Okay. So now we need to kind of trace a line out from the climbing hold to a character, right? It doesn't matter which character, just a character. So what I'll start with, actually, you know what I'm going to start with is I'm going to do a blood test. I'm actually diabetic, so I'm just going to check my blood sugars because I am feeling a little woozy. It might just be because I am tired. Oof, that one hurt. Okay, I'm a little bit high. High blood sugars. So let's do a little injection. Live streaming of being diabetic. Awesome. It's a dream come true. And there we have it. Okay, let's just start dropping down now. So we have this climbing hold, and yeah, as I said, I want to trace out to the character, and that'll have to happen at least every time the character moves. Ticking may not be required. Ticking's not required. It should be when the character moves. So maybe we should think about allowing the user of this plugin, i.e. me, to tell the plugin when the character has moved. So I think what I'll do, let me just go to the header, and I'll have a nice public method here, and it'll be I think it just avoid public accessible, right? And we'll say notify that player has moved. Let's stick to the Unreal Engine comments here. The climbing hold actor must know when the character has provided input, for example, moves left. And then, and at that point, we can update variable values, etc. We do not use tick as this wastes processing when nothing is happening. Fine. Now this will have to be the U function again. This will be a category of, I think we'll do this as that. Maybe that. Well, yeah. I wonder if you can do space. I'm not sure you can. Okay. And so now what you could do is the character could. Now here's the problem, right? Because this has to tick on all of the climbing holds. So it's almost like the so maybe I don't need this actually. Let's put this into a bin and we can come back to it if we want to. Let's do that. I need to clear up some of these. Sorry, 1 second. What's this? Yep. 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 Right. Okay, so I've just put that into a little holding just in case we need it, but I've taken out for now. I think what I'm going to do is actually say if debugging, then you're welcome to tick, right? So let's go, let's take it out of here. I'm not a huge fan of that at the moment, I have to say. Let's go, because I don't like it because you don't know if it's public or protected and stuff, and then you have to kind of look back and it kind of all gets a bit squirrely. Maybe it's just me. I might change my mind at some point, but I've kind of gone off of it recently. I'm talking about putting methods in the CPP file. I'm sure it'll bite me in the arse, so I'll wait for that to happen. Okay, let's see. Right, okay, so first things first, we need to be able to draw a line, right? So draw debug line Unreal Engine CPP C++. Let's see. Draw debug line. And where's that found? Draw debug helpers. It'd be so nice if you just had a little example here, wouldn't it? I've noticed it's a bit annoying. Let's see if this can help me. Maybe it's just okay, it's just something that's on actors, I guess. So in world, well, I think then we need to do a get world, and this will return a U world like this. And if the world is true, then you can go ahead and draw. What else does it need? Where's the line start? Line start, line end. What's the color? F color. And then persistent lines. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Doesn't say again. That's always quite helpful. I guess false. I don't know. Don't know what it is. Don't mean to do that. And then the lifetime. Let's try that. That should be not a flubble, but a float. Depth priority. That's where it's going to draw on top of other ones, I reckon. And that is a what again? That's a UIN8. And it was 0U. And then what else we got? Thickness. And that's a float. Okie dokie. Right. So we're drawing it from wherever it's found a nearby character. So I think we need a way of defining what this actor's radius of effect is. Radius of effect, maybe that's a good term. Let's try that. So it's going to be a U property. I've just got an idea actually. If I take that, put that back in there, and we'll do a private method instead, I think. Or draw debug line. Draw area of draw debug line draw debug, and we'll say this is for from hold to close character. There we go. And we'll put this in here. And then this can be called from within here. I think that's quite nice then. All right. And then this one is going to be a float, and it'll be distance minimum distance of radial effect, because it's affecting something. I think that makes sense. And so this will be let's see. This needs to ray trace out okay. If get character trying to think of how this is going to go. What's the best way around this? I guess ideally, as I move, I want this character to ask what's nearby. But this has a problem because that means that the programmer has to do this themselves, right? They have to copy a piece of code and it's going to do that checking. So this is why we'll have this component, and maybe that component, that kind of climbing system component, will on tick do this check. Now, either that or each actor is going to do that for itself, and I think that's probably a bad idea because that's n versus 1, right? So even though this has to iterate over all of the tickers, it's like it's not a whole, it's just one section of code running. So I think I need to put this stuff in the component itself. So that's what I'm going to do, and I think this is fine. Let's not do this. So the next CPP class is going to be a component, I think. This is where I go on shaky ground because I don't know how these work. I have made one before, I just can't bloody remember. Here we go. An actor component is a reusable component that can be added to any actor. That sounds good to me. Scene component is a component that has a scene transform and can be attached to other. So I think it's just this, because it's not going to have to draw anything. It's kind of the operational part. So it's going to be an actor component. It's going to go inside my plugin, and it's going to be called the climbing system actor component. That's a shame. That's just going to get confusing now, isn't it? Because I'm going to have to... Maybe I have to do comp. Actor comp. Okay. Distal climbing system actor comp. Maybe this can be... No, I think it's confusing. Cool. Okay. So that goes there, and this is going to be put inside components. Um, so now we've got this component. This is where that logic's going to be, and it needs to be added to my character, right? So let's try and add this to my character now. So I'm guessing that on my actual normal code, if I go to my climbing character, I can add a, what is this? Is it a U? I don't know, components. Let's see. This is a U thing. So you're going to have a property. It's going to be blueprint read write. It's going to be edit anywhere. Why not? Category of custom. Something like that. Now, how do we include this? Let's see. That can't be right. So let's see. Include plugin CPP file, CPOP file, Unreal Engine. Okay, so it might be as simple as just including this like components like that. Doesn't like that though, does it? Let's see if that. It's just running at the moment. Let's see what happens. No, it doesn't like that. So I don't think that's right. In my project build CS file, I added the module name I wish to use to the public dependency list. I determined the module name by using the U plugin file in the plugins folder and looked at the module section. If multiple module names are listed, you should pick the one that contains the source of the classes you're about. Then rebuilt the project and right-clicked my project file and regenerated file, so I was able to access the d.h files. It seems that I don't see another plugins that may need to be included, for example. Okay, well that's great. That's really helpful. So if I go to my build, public, I guess it's gonna have to go in here. I just want to double check something though, because yeah, okay. So public dependency, and I'm gonna put from here. It's gonna be that, I guess, or that one there, and I'll put that in there, and then I'll try and rebuild that, and hopefully it plops it into its belly and then can gobble up the the insides of this guy. So here we are. Nope. Here. Definitely not that. It could be that though. So what cannot open source? So I wonder if I have to first get it to build and then what have we got now? Live coding, so let's try it from here. What is this saying? Climbing character.h, syntax error. Yes, okay. Let's try now. Cool. Now do we get access to this is the question. No. But I wonder if this can now see where it needs to go. Well, it thinks that. I don't know if that's right, you know. Doesn't look good to me. Glad that didn't build. So you cannot open file. Error. What am I doing wrong, eh? Maybe if I just do that. Who knows? I don't. Fatal error. Cannot open that file. We definitely put this in here. There it is. Those are fine. Maybe it's in the U project file then. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. Once this is loaded, I'll have to close that again. Maybe I could just do it now. Okay, we go. Close that. Let's see if we can edit this though. Open with. Well, okay, let's. Yes. Let's go and edit this with Notepad++. So it does have it has the plugins here. So it knows it's going to be using it. Oh no, hang on though, it's not, has it? It actually hasn't. So maybe I have to add this myself. And it's called, what is it called again? This, like so. And so there should be some documentation about this. Plugins. This example plugin descriptor is from the engines U object. Okay, JSON file, JSON formatted file. There is one additional field file version because this version applies. For details about that, each entry requires a name and type. Loading phase. For plugins that contain code, the modules field in the descriptor file will contain at least one entry. So let's go here. Okay, maybe if I copy the path. Oh gosh, one sec. Here, I want to go and get to this one using Notepad++. So there it is. Okay, loading phase default runtime. Type developer. Valid options are runtime, runtime note developer, editor. This type determines which types of applications can load the module. So some plugins may include modules that should only load when the editor is running. Runtime modules will be loaded in all cases, even shipped games. Developer modules will only be loaded in development runtime or editor builds, but never in shipped builds. Editor modules will only be loaded when the editor is started up. Your plugin can use a combination of modules of different types. Nice to see they give you runtime modules will be loaded in all cases. So I guess I want runtime anyways. Let me just go and edit that whilst I'm here. Type runtime, cool. Good stuff. icons, resources, that's fine. So how the heck do I use it? Although a project module can depend on an engine module cannot depend on a project module. This is because the engine is higher level than any project. It must be able to build without a project. The following diagram indicates the hierarchy. That's fine. Plugins reside under the plugins subfolder. If the plugin contains modules that have source folders, plugin code will automatically be added to generators so that you can work on developing the plugin alongside your project. Whenever you compile your project, any plugin that has source available will also be compiled. Plugins that do not have a source folder are ignored by the project generator and will not appear. At present, plugin configuration files are not packaged with projects. This may be supported in the future. Including include file from Unreal Engine plugin. I used to have the same problem. You'll need to put the name of the module you're trying to include in your build.cs file. So let's just double check I've done that. I'm pretty sure I have. There's my build.cs, and there it is. Just simply add the name of the new module on the end of the line in the same style as the rest. You'll also need to add the path to the include files, which will require adding a new line, something like this. Then simply include the headers. For some reason I'm getting linking errors when using the reflection stuff calling static class. I was able to resolve this by using API define on the class. Does not fix my include. API define. Let me just double check that. Yeah, I just got that there, hasn't it? I'm using the following that was able to find for the build. So he's put that there, and then he's added the paths. It's also from note to add those in your not the project plugins file. And I was partially be able okay, maybe this is a problem with that. So let's try. So I've added that there. I've got a controller that, or a character that is not able to use that yet, and this needs to be commented out. But let's close this, well, let's build this, regenerate. So we'll close this down. And then we'll regenerate. Let's hope that that now works. Cool. And let's see now if my character can actually get access to that. Maybe. Nope. It's looking, it's looking, it's looking. It's finished. Maybe public. Oh, it really doesn't want to help me, does it? I wonder if that is something like it. I just don't know what to do. Oh, there you go. Alright, sweet. We found it finally. Okay, good. That is awesome. Now this should start to pop in, but it's not. So this is actually, cannot open it even though, oh, well, this was probably Copilot, wasn't it? And because it actually even, this is not right because it should be components, right? Climbing character movement component. That's not what I called it. Distal, okay. Something like that more. Oh, that's interesting. Ah, okay, cool. So to do it, you just gotta call the whole thing. Fair enough. All right. Oh, brilliant. All right. That's awesome. Good. So now if I go into my character, I should see my new component. Um, well, I need to new it up, don't I? So if I'm going to my climbing character and I go to the initialization, and I'll have to say something like climbing system actor component equals a create default sub-object. Let's see if this gives me of type that, and this needs, I think, a name. I think that's right. Let's see. What does it say? It says an outer. No, don't think I need that. It says a name and then a return type. Name. Okay. So this needs to be included here. Oh, no, that's interesting because actually it should be already included because it's up here. So I think that's just a bum thing actually. And if I were to refresh this, I wonder what it'll say. U climbing system active. So I'm guessing I didn't call it that. Let me just. There it is. And I think I will actually just call this that because I'm worried that I'm going to forget what's not attached to my plugin and what's just part of the game. Cool, okay. So we've now got that, and we should have in here our lovely component. Good. So now with that, I think the component, let's just close everything, can do a tick. And on that tick, it's going to search for my character, and that character is my owner. So get owner. I think this returns a pawn. I can't remember. I wish you could just hover over these things. It's an actor. Okay. So maybe get pawn or get pawn, get character. Guess it is owner. Fair enough. Owner. And I think then that the owner will have to be cast to. No, that should be fine. Let's say if owner, then I'm going to output a debug line, I think. So if I go back to my solution, I think I've already done this. It's inside the player controller, and it was like so. So and this will be distal climbing system owner exists. Cool. Let's try that. That's good. Wonderful. Okay. And now what we must do is draw a line. So if I go back to the player, I think maybe, or maybe I was doing it in the actual actor component, the hold actor, sorry. Here it is. Draw debug from hold to close character. Yep. And this is doing this. Now, what I want to do is find all actors of type class C++ Unreal Engine. There it is. And this will happen in my component. Climbing hold actors. All climbing hold actors. This one comes from, I can't remember now, let's see. That sounds good. Kismet thing, yep. And then, so this is interesting as well because I don't think I want it in this tick like this. So let's make a private function. And we'll call this a whatever, doesn't matter. Oh, like that. So what should we call this? We should say scan for climbing hold actors for nearby climbing hold actors. Yes. And so get all actors of class, and it's going to be a climbing hold actor like that. And I just need to add that up here. It's going to be actors. Come on, type head. Well, I'm inside the component, so I need to go to the actors, so it's going to be that. It has to be that. .h. There it is. And then this will be, yeah, that's great. And found actors, looks like it passes out this, so I'm guessing this is like a reference passing in, or a pointer, yeah, sure. Oh, there you go, a reference. And then we're going to go take a loop-the-loop around this for current actor in all climbing hold actors. Then we will oh, someone's liked me. Let me just oh, I'm so sorry. I think maybe I missed you. If you're still there, awesome. If not, then thanks for showing up. Actually, I have no idea how to see who's currently viewing this, right? Oh, I see. Concurrent viewers. Okay, I got you. Thank you. Thank you, good sir. Okay, so now I need to let's see. So I want to check for climbing hold actors that are close, and that closeness should be defined by what? I suppose it could be a property on the component itself, and I think that's possible. If I were to go back through to here, I think yeah, these can be editable. So let's try it that way first, at least. So I'm going to add a U property here. Read, write, edit anywhere. These might need to change. I'm not sure how they're going to work with the plugin being used by people. But anyway, let's say this is going to be a checkbox. No, sorry, it's going to be a float, and it should be distance or distance of climbing hold actor area of effect. Maybe just that, distance of area of effect. Or radius area of effect. Let's give this a nice name. This denotes how far away a climbing hold, what do we call them? Let's get this right. How far away a can be before it is picked up, before it is within interactable distance of your character. Good, and we should probably set a default here, but I don't know what that default should be at the moment, to be honest. So let's say though, the current actor, we want distance from character equals the current actor. I think you can do gets actor location, returns the location of the root component. So that doesn't say like local or something, so I think we're happy there. And then it will be distance, and then we'll say from. Oh, you see, so this is taken two vectors. So actually, what we need here is an f vector, and I'm guessing that is a static on this. Yes, okay, there you go. So it's from that to the owner gets actor location. And with this distance, if the distance is less than or equal to the radius area of effect, then we want to do some drawing. And that drawing looks like, well, it's on side the current actor, but this is a climbing hold actor, so what we shall do is at this point, when we know it is exactly within the correct distance, then we shall do a cast. So let's go cast oh, there it is. And we're going to cast this current actor to this type. And then of course, well, also, can this ever be null? I doubt it. Well, it could be deleted though, couldn't it? No, it's fine. That's fine. Maybe if it's not deleting, but we'll think of that another time. It's no doubt going to be like a bug in the future, right? And this will be a pointer. And then only if this is cast correctly do we want to draw or in fact use its drawing capacity, and that drawing capacity is, I think, draw, well, I could have sworn I added one. Draw debug from hold, yeah. So, oh, this is private, that's why. So if I just knock this out like that, u function category, like this, and this needs to go now because that's been replaced, hasn't it? Moved. And this should draw, and I think now as well we can say from uh, line start, and this already knows its position, so I don't need to know anything else. I just need to know where we're drawing from, right? Or maybe we pass in a character or an actor, because the get owner gives an actor. So I think what we'll do is do that character to draw line 2. That'll be the line start, and the line end will be the current, well, it'll be that. Or maybe that would be the line end actually. Dot get actor location, and this one will be get actor location, which is from the current object that I'm looking at. Cool. Okay. Let's set some colors here. Let's go color. Draw a nice bold red. Lifetime should be. Oh, that's interesting. This is happening on component tick, so actually 0 is fine. That should be absolutely fine. So scan for nearby component actors. So this is in the component. The component is doing this scanning. This is going to draw debug from hold to close character. I don't like that name. Maybe we can come back to that. And then we're going to pass in the owner here. So now, hopefully, if I go and rebuild this, I guess I'll get a ton of errors come up. Let's see what we don't like here. U gameplay settings is not a class or a name, and get all active class identifier is not found. Well, that makes sense if the other one isn't found, and that's in the climbing system plugin. No, this is in the components. Okay, so let's go to my plugin. There it is. Actually, it's in the H file here. It does not like this, even though it's not complaining there. Well, that's interesting because where the bloody hell did it go, eh? Ah, it's here. Ha! Silly me. Let's do that and then compile that again. Okay. Now this is saying that the draw debug from hold does not take 0 arguments. So that's correct. It doesn't. Scan for nearby. So scan for nearby holding actors is being called by the tick component. That's fine. And then this one, no, it doesn't take 0, and I haven't given it 0, but that needs to go. Okay, I see. Good. Now there's one more thing I noticed. This is set to true at the moment, but I don't think, at least at this moment in time, this does not need to be ticking. Because it is actually our character that is doing the ticking. So that's good. So what we've now done is managed to make it so that this component and all the other components do not tick, just this one. So if I play this, nothing happens yet. And actually, just to make this a bit more obvious, let's add a mesh here. Let's see. Do we have a skeletal mesh? Tutorial mesh. That looks good. Let's pull this guy down to the floor. Great. And well, let's experiment with how far this thing has to go. So you should have a custom radius area of effect. I don't like that being custom. Let me just go and no, that's fine actually, because it is part of the yeah, that's fine. So let's make this 500. Now we should see a line being drawn. That's great. Okay. Um, cool. I like it. Um, let's see now. That is actually pretty good, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, that is pretty good. So that's its area of effect. So now here's the thing. I want only to be able to interact with it when I'm in the area of effect. So that's going to be part of this component, I think. So it's scanning for nearby climbing hold actors, right? And when it finds one, well, when it finds them all, it's checking for the distance. Now here's the problem. It needs to choose between, like if there are many, which one does it choose, right? So I need to do a sort to get the closest one to the actor. I think that is a fair one to do. So I need to do a predicate. To do that, you do something like um, let's see, predicate. I think it's something like that. Maybe it's a dot. Filter by predicate. And then the predicate, I think it's something like that. And this would be the current actor. And I can, well, I just want to sort, don't I, really, actually? Sort. Sorts the array assuming less operators defined for the item type. Right, and what does this take? Does this also take a predicate? Yes, it does. Okay, that's great. So where current actor, I'm guessing this takes two. Let's see. Well, let's do this actually to be completely not confusing. Yes, and then we want to do where oh gosh, no, what do we want to do? We want to do a distance check. Distance from character for A and then B. And then, no, sorry, from A to owner. So owner must be passed in. So let's do that. Like so. And then A. And then let's do it for B. And then we want to do where A is less than B. So this sorts the array to return closest, sorts the array to closest to actor, closest to character. Something like that. And this sorting, I think this returns something, does it not? No, in there, okay, so sorts the array using user-defined predicate class. And if your array contains raw pointers, there will be automatic dereference during sorting. Therefore, your predicate will be passed references rather than pointers. If this is not desirable, please use algo sort. References rather than pointers. So we're actually getting this. And so that's going to be, I'm going to need to dereference that. Oh, do I have to do that maybe? Oops. If I get a reference to it, I need to get back to the pointer. So I want to get, if I'm at the reference. Oh God. Do I have to do that? Can't remember now. C++A. It's not that. It's one of these. If I've got a reference. Let's see if someone can help me here. I just cannot remember. Predicate, Unreal Engine, sort. Let's see. I'd actually use the symbol struct with the overloaded to help you here. I do something very similar, then use these are references. Oh, they are just using that. Oh, that's interesting. Use algo sort over TRA sort as this correctly passes pointers. Oh, okay. So how does this work then? Algo sort. Get sensed actors. What's that? Nothing. F sort by distance. Okay, let's see if we can sort by distance. Oh, okay, I see. That's a function. I see. So let's try this algo sort then. I don't know what that is. Never used it before. Let's see if this helps. No, it does not. Algo sort. Unreal Engine, algo sort. It's in there. There it is. Looks like I need that one to use this. So now we should have a reference to algo. Good. And algo sort range and predicate. So I guess we pass it this, and then our predicate function, which is going to be that. And then in this case, we should now have pointers and not have to worry about dereferencing them, which sounds good to me. Awesome. So with this, what do we get? We're getting, we must be shuffling the original array. So if that's the case, then I want to say if, well, let's do it this way. If all climbing hold actors dot number is greater than 0, so if there are any actors, then go and sort it. And then I only want the closest one, so it's going to be all climbing hold actors 0, and then I want to do this with it. So let's copy, let's get this. Well, actually, I just need, well, maybe I just do it again. For maintainability, it's probably a bit nicer to read, I guess, if I just pass this in here, like so. Distance from character. So sorts the array to closest character, and then gets the distance from from zeroth, and then casts it, and then draws the debug line. I think that looks good. Let's see how this builds now. Okay. Right. Let's see what happens. So there's still a line that's good, but what is more important is that if I've got two of these now, it should only draw from one. Ah, but it does not. It doesn't. Okay. And let's just double check that this is actually updated. So if I go here, play, I should be able to see that there is. Ha! Okay, well it's being optimized away. So first of all, I need to get rid of that optimization. Let me just do that. It's a pain in the ass, that one is. Let's go and get rid of you. So it's pragma optimize. I think that's how you spell it. Off, and then let's turn it back on over here, right? Hopefully we'll get a little bit more visibility of what's going on. Okay. Wait. Is that now? Oh no, it's still fine. It's still fine. Put that there. Go and press the play button. So we have two actors. That looks good to me. Let's see what's happening here then. I'm a bit confused at why. That's interesting. And what am I doing here? So I'm checking the distance from the zeroth to the character. And then the zeroth. I mean that looks good. I'm not sure why the predicate gets skipped. It makes it a bit difficult to debug, doesn't it really? Let's see if we can do it. How to debug an Unreal Engine predicate. C++ optimize. Nothing that interesting there. Okay, well, I suppose we can just figure this out. I'm skeptical of this. So distance between A and owner. Ha ha ha. Yes, that'll do it. Duh. Nice. So if we continue this now. Ah! No longer matches the version, that's fine. If we do that, should reload the DLL, hopefully. Alright, and then let's see what happens now. Oh, great. That's a shame. So this algo sort, I wonder if it really is actually affecting the original, because I mean it is a void, so I think it is doing that. So let's see what this documentation says. Sort a range of elements using user-defined. The sort is unstable. The range to sort. A binary predicate object used to specify if one element should precede another. The sort is unstable. I don't know what that means. Oh, of course. Dearie me, what is going on? Well, I think that's probably asking for a break, isn't it? If I'm doing silly things like that. Well, I suspect that will work now. Yes, of course. Great. Okay, so now it's picking up the closest one. That's great. Ah, okay. Right. That's a good job done. Let's try and comment some of this then. So this method scans for all nearby, all climbing hold actors. For each climbing hold actor, I really don't like calling these incorrectly. Let me just do this a bit better. Climbing hold actor. Here we go. Let's try that. Where are we? It was on the hold actor itself, was it? No, it was on the component. Yeah. For all actors. For each actor, we measure the distance. We measure the distance to the character. The closest draws a debug line to the character. Awesome. Draw a debug from hold to close to character. From hold to character. I think that's what that needs to be called, isn't it? Let's go do that. From hold to character. Let's go back. In fact, I could probably get rid of that now. Nice, okay. Draws a line. And also, actually, I don't think this is needed anymore. No. This is a problem. So we need to sort, and then we need to filter out. So first of all, let's filter out. So algo, is it algo filter? Can I do that? Find by predicate. Filter by predicate, is there not? Find by predicate. Find by predicate returns a range type. Let's see what this does. Because first I need to filter out all the ones that are close enough, right? And if there are none close enough, then I can ignore it. But if there are two, then I can sort them. Yeah? That's what I'm trying to do. So let's see how this works. Something like this. To climbing hold actor. Ah no, wrong part. Whoops, that one there. And then this of course needs the owner. And then in here I can do something like return that. So only return climbing only return that where close enough to actor. And this, what is this? So this comes from here, that's fine, but we don't want that, we want to change it to this. Distance from character and the radius area of effect. Well, that should be fine. This cannot be referenced in a lambda body unless it is in the capture list. Oh, of course. Yes, and this is on the component, so it's going to have to be this, isn't it? I don't know if you can do that actually. I think you might. I think I might need to do something like that. Let's see. Let's see. I don't know. It'd be nice if I can define specifically, or maybe I can just pass in that, right? No, it needs the original actor. Okay, so now we've got find by predicate. This, I would imagine this returns something. Auto. Does that mean that it returns a pointer to the first element in the range which matches the predicate? Oh, okay. So first of all, oh God. So maybe I can do this after. So if I sort it first, and then from that list, from that list, I I return yeah, return the first one that's within the area of effect. Okay, well it doesn't feel right, but hey, okay. I'm sure it's fine. Value of type actor, no, it doesn't like that. It's gonna be... Oh, does it actually return an array then? I'm a bit confused now, I have to say. What does the auto come out as? Auto comes out as... Ah, where's my IntelliSense, man? Find by predicate returns auto. But you can template this with range type. It's like that, I wonder. Oh my goodness, what am I doing here? Force inline, auto, find by predicate. It returns a pointer to the first element in the range. Yeah, so why is that? Why is that not liking that? A value of type actor pointer. This is dereferenced. So that's given me that. It's given me a pointer to a pointer. Interesting. And then this, I need to do that, and then I'm gonna have something like that. I think that might work. I'm not quite sure why that's giving me a pointer to a pointer. Can it not just return me the pointer? Interesting. Okay, well, let's see what happens. There's a surprise. What don't you like? 82, missing semicolon. 82. Indeed we are. No, it looks like... Wait, what? What have I done here? This is close up. This is for the class. Is that the class? Yeah, that's the class. So this is just nothing. And that needs to be there. Now what? Missing 83. Ah. Okay. See what happens. I mean, I think it's doing it. Let's just make sure, what the heck have I done? So, only return a where close enough to actor. That's right? So, actually when it goes over here, aha, there you go. Yeah, that's good. So if it can't find one, so if climbing hold, actor, then do it. Otherwise it's going to be null. And so, yeah, that's quite funny. Only if there is a close enough to the character. Let's do that. Well, I think that's done. Good progress so far. Oh, yeah. So what's nice about this is we have this component that you attach as a programmer to your character, and then basically the rest of it is done for you. It's just going to be tracing these lines out to, whatever's closest, and then you're going to be able to attach to one, right? So there's my line, and it breaks away. Lovely jubbly. So um, let's just go to the character and just change that reach. Go to my distal climbing actor. Let's go 100, sorry. Let's see if that's connecting. I think it probably is. How do I exit this again? Oh, is it that? Oh dear, I can't remember. Click for mouse control. Shift F1. Okay. So if I detach here, so 100 is too much, but let's just push this back then. So X100 like that. It's probably about right, isn't it? In fairness. And then, of course, I need to move my guys back to 100. Well, actually. So it looks like these need to be 100. My apologies. Let's put those at 100, right? And then we'll move this until it's kind of fitting. Yeah, like that. So now that should be tracing. That's interesting. That should be tracing. One radius area of effect. 100. The distance should be 100. I mean, is it just some kind of subtle thing, like it just needs to be one more? I'm not sure I understand this, to be honest. Unless it doesn't, it might not draw whilst let's put this back to 400. It might not draw when I detach from the eject, you know. Oh, it does. Okay. Well, we need to understand this then. Why is it thinking that's far away if it's exactly 100? Ah, because it's, yeah, I see. Because it's coming from this point, right? It's coming from the center. So, um, is that something I care about? Is that something I care about? I suppose not. I suppose this is why it's a variable, right? So you can just change it. Um, and that should be fine. And in fact, you know, actually, if you're approaching this, you'd want to be able to connect a little bit further anyway. So probably if you click there, you'd want it to be able to go onto it. I think I'll just put it down to 120 or something like that. Let's see how that's looking. This looks great. Okay, cool. One thing I noticed that's not very helpful is you can't see the bloody line, right? So draw circle is what I'll do as well. That's world, transform matrix. Oof. Center, there we go. Will be that. In fact, let's just do this as we did before, which I quite like that. Center, f vector center equals get axis location. Okay, and then what's next? Radius. I have no idea what this will look like. Let's just try it. Segments. I see. I see. So I wonder if I just pass that segments equals, let's say it's made of 10 segments, and then color. Let's make it green. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. I've done something wrong here. So the world I pass in. Oh no, here we go. Color and then persistent line, persistent line, circle, persistent lines. Let's do that. And then what else do we want? Lifetime. Maybe persistent lines. And then lifetime, yeah. Let's do line lifetime. Well, in fairness, I could just do this. Right, just keep in scope kind of thing. Let's just do that. That's a bit better. Yeah, we like that. And that's going to be that one. Just means I don't have to faff around with naming things. I can just copy and paste, right? I think. Depth priority and thickness are probably also things here. Let's see what we got. Depth priority and thickness, yeah. Y-axis. That's interesting. A Z-axis. Okay, not sure what that means. Depth priority and thickness. What else does it need? So we got world, center, radius, color, persistent lines, lifetime, depth priority, thickness. I mean, the rest is is looking good. So no instance of overloaded function matches the argument list. World vector. Radius. Segments. That's what it is. Got it. Okay, cool. So, whoa! Circle, and then line. So hopefully it's just a bit more clearer now, yeah. Well, I say that and I actually can't see it because of the bloom. Let's go. Can we do a dark green? I wonder. God, okay, well let's make it a little bit thicker then. I guess maybe 5. All right. Oh yeah, there we go. Good. Okay. Next one. We need to be able to press a button. So we've got our interaction on our character, right? But when we press it, we need to denote that we are attached to that certain climbing hold. So let's do that. Let's close all this. I'm getting confused. Let's pin this. This is going to be starting on the player, and as I interact, or actually the controller, as I interact, here it is, I'm going to emit an event to the climbing hold actor. Now I can only do that if I am close enough to a climbing hold actor. So I think that whole logic has already been made actually, and it's pretty much here, isn't it? So scan for nearby climbing hold. The closest draws a debug line. I think what I need to do is this needs to be removed from this. Ah, well, okay. So this is on, what is this? The component. So let's first have a property. Let's just copy that. This denotes if debug lines should be drawn. Okay. Boolean of debug. If debugging, do that. Yeah, okay. We've been going for quite a long time actually. Whoops. It's now 5:38. Yikes. Okay. So if we're scanning for them, Where are we scanning from again? I actually can't remember which. I think it was the actual ticking, wasn't it? The ticking component, yeah. And that's ticking component of the this. So, okay, so what we could do actually is we could have a property blueprint read only, visible anywhere fine. I think that's going to be a better idea actually. Let's just do that for everything. And the cool thing about this is we just can keep a reference to the actor that we found, right? So we could do that. So then if it finds one, then set it like that. Now, closest climbing hold actor, I think we'll call this. Or, yeah, closest climbing hold actor. That's what we'll do. Yep. And so now with this, our character can say, hey, I want to attach to you. So on my character's interaction, or we'll do something like this, U function. Well, actually, let's see. Do I do this in... Do I put a function in here, or do I put the function in the component? I think I should put it... well, oh, this is a bit difficult to figure out now. Where do I want to put this method? I suppose it doesn't really matter. Let's see though, I'm gonna get access to my pawn, so let's do that. Basically copy this stuff. And my character attach to climbing hold. I wonder. Component, let's see what we got here. Climbing. That one. Attached to climbing hold. Yeah, why not? So let's do that, and that can be inside the component. As a callable function, like that. And it's going to use this to do that stuff. So let's just copy that from there. Attach to climbing hold. Yeah. And I'll just say, if that, then attach. If that, then attach to climbing hold. Attach character to climbing hold actor. And I think the character should be taken from here, right? So the owner and actually maybe even like that. Attach character to climbing hold actor. And so then this will take something like this. So climbing hold actor. Ay ay ay, where am I? Climbing hold actor is in here. Here. Ah, I've lost it. Oh, that's annoying. How do I go back? Oh, that's so annoying. Don't know why I lost that. Try that again. There it is. We'll copy this ufunction stuff. Make this a void. And attached character to climbing hold actor. I guess I just need to say is attached, right? So this private property can just be a reference to currently attached to, denotes actor who is currently attached to this climbing hold. Something like that, I think. And then that will be like so. And then in my, so this is that, and then this is that, yeah. My pawn. And I can cast that to an actor. Pointer. Ah, bad way of doing that. Let's just do it like this instead. In fact, I think I just have to do that. Yeah, and should I actually do it as a pawn? Because I suppose these characters need movement components, so I should actually ask for a character instead. Um, mm, hang on, what? Why is it too many arguments? There it is. Do I have to do that? No. I don't get you. Why are you saying that? Oh, I've already cast that thing. Okay, so yeah, I think this is a good point. So if I do a character, I don't know if I need to do this actually. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? That one. A character. Oh, I see. I see, I see, I see. Because I already know my owner, right? But my owner gets can be an actor. That's probably fine actually. So this I actually just I don't need to do anything. I just do that. Attach to the climbing hold. Done. So that goes in there. This is the component. Yeah, that's nice and neat. And then the component does the hard work, which is that basically. Good. Now here's the thing, right? So now this character is going to have this flag of when it's attached. And if I just scroll in here for a bit, what that means is if I have this point, the character we need to know how far away this is per tick. And the reason for that is in an animation, like a blend space it's called, you've got your animation here. You start off with a pose. So that pose is this guy who is just kind of hanging out on the rock. Maybe give him an actual body. He's just kind of hanging out there with his bum. And if we can give the measurement of this over here in the blend space, we can blend to another pose, right? So this pose instead up here is going to be, I know, really reaching out, and maybe a bit like this. Maybe even in a way, dark, I don't know, but maybe the legs like that, right? And so this needs to kind of blend from A, maybe you can't see that, from A to B. And this amount in here, green is bad. Let's do dark green. This could be the distance, D, and direction, so it's a vector. So maybe you should call this VD. But also that it should be normalized. Because if it's normalized, then we get a number from 0 to 1, and that can be pumped into our blend space. So as the character starts the transition to the position they want to end up in, it would go from, let's say the beginning would go from, so let's put this as time and distance. It would go from full reach, so it starts off at 1, and then over time goes to 0, from 1 to 1. Or blend space input, let's say. So our blend space input will go from 1 to 0, where it'll be the most at the beginning, and then it'll gradually get less and go back to that. So actually more likely it'll be a bit like this, because this guy needs to be hanging on in one position, right? Like that. Okay, that's a good picture. So it starts like that, blends almost immediately. Actually, I need to just correct this line. I think it's going to be more like this, right? It'll be a little bit, well, it'll go quite spiked up, and then it'll go down like that. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what we're doing here. Let me just check everything's streaming okay. I think we're streaming okay. Yeah. Yeah, we are. A little bit far behind because I'm streaming at that kind of high quality thing. Um, okay, so that's how this is going to work. So I just need to get a reading of the current thing, and I need to be able to pass that to the people programming, um, so that they can react to it in their blend space. Now, because I've got this blend space of 0 to 1, this could be on, I don't know, like the y-axis, or the z-axis, let's put. Well, no, let's just do y. And this can be like on the x-axis, 0 to 1. Because blend spaces, you can only put axes in, right? So this is the blend space. So how about it goes from, let's draw one more line here. Let's go for a yellow. Why not? I doubt you can even see this. No, let's go for something a little bit easier to see. Let's imagine this is on an axis, right? This would be 1, 1 right here, yeah? 1, 2, and this would be, well, this could be -1, you see. So if I go -1, and then if you were to go, let's say down here, let's do another color. This would be y equals -1, and this would be 1. Yeah. So we need to define a normalized trace from with quadrants in mind. And then get the components from that quadrant's axes. Now if I were to get actor location, or get relative actor location, and I trace out a line to B, then that would return a vector even with a z axis. Sorry, not a z. Well, oh yeah, okay, z axis, yeah. So the other one, the kind of into the screen one. Um, I think this might work. Yeah. So it's just get actor location. Must be relative. Must be relative. And if that's the case, then it'll work off this quadrant, and I should get coordinates, and then I can just normalize those coordinates for the blend space. And I guess furthermore, when the blend space or the distance equals 0, you then just have to say that you're attached to that one instead, right? And that could all be done internally in the climbing component. though the only input needed is whether the character has gone left, right, up or down, horizontal or vertical. And those axis values need to come into one function. So if I'm pressing left and up at the same time, those two values need to be captured at the same time. They can't be separate functions denoting that. And in order to do that, we will okay, yeah. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop here because we're 3.5 hours in through this day. We've made some good progress. I might continue this later on. I think just going to have a little break, or a big break actually, because this is the next the big part, right? So we've got the kind of test frame set up, we've got the component set up, your plugins, and then we're kind of ready to start rocking and rolling. And at some point as well, I'm going to have to make some poses for this character. Yeah. Okay, cool. Right, yeah. So I think I'll say goodbye here, and we shall continue this stream very soon. Have a good